So we've been looking at Manchester's best defence, we've been looking at Manchester's best midfield, but who is Manchester's best attack? What we're going to do is start on the left wing. We've got Anthony Martial against Nolito. Now Martial hasn't scored in his first 3 appearances, but he's got 2 assists, and I'll be the first one to say that Martial looks a bit out of form, a little bit out of sorts. He had a very, very busy year last year, nearly scored 20 goals in his debut season. Stunning campaign from him. He looked knackered at the Euro 2016, and Didier Deschamps said the same thing. He's come back to Manchester United and he looks a bit tired. And it's not the Martial that we saw last year. Martial was ripping defences apart left, right and centre. But he's still looking influential and dangerous. So is he in your Manchester's best attack? Vote up there. Up against him is Nolito. Now in 3 appearances, he has got 2 goals. He got those in 21 minutes against Stoke and 1 assist. And I think if we're looking at Man City's signings and I'm ranking them, I would put him quite highly. I think just like Claudio Bravo coming from Barcelona, Nolito coming from Celta Vigo, he suits Guardiola's style of play. And you can see that. His positionally, he knows where he's playing. It doesn't need to be taught how Guardiola plays. He naturally plays it from the Spanish league. And I think on form, out of these 2, I'm going to have to go for Nolito. Sorry, Anthony, I just can't do it. But let me know who you would rather have in your team up there. But that is left wing. Who starts up front? This is the big one. This is Zlatan Ibrahimovic against Sergio Aguero. Who do you choose? I mean, Ibrahimovic, a 10 out of 10 signing for Man United. I think we signed him on a free from PSG. And he's gone on to score 3 goals in his first 3 appearances. And he's completely transformed Man United's ego, Man United's image, Man United's attack. We were perennial winners under Fergie, but we lost that in the 3 years since. Mourinho has reshaped this United side and he's put Ibrahimovic as the focal point up front. And you can't argue with the return he's had right now. I think his header against Southampton was my personally favourite goal. Just threw himself at the ball. And I definitely think that Ibrahimovic has made Man United a far more dangerous side. Imagine we've still got Marcus Rashford to come on as we saw against Hull. We've got great options, but Sergio Aguero is Sergio Aguero. He scored 3 goals in 3 games for Man City. He's banned for the derby, but I think he's the best finisher in the Premier League. I think that naturally he's the most dangerous. He has been the most dangerous player in these derbies. But it doesn't mean I'm going to choose him in my Manchester 11 because it's a Man United channel. Of course not. Ibrahimovic would be in mine any day of the week. And I think actually on form I probably still would choose Ibrahimovic because I've seen more of him. I haven't watched City's games. I'd rather watch points of view or some shit like that. But Aguero is what he is and Ibrahimovic is what he is. So let me know who you would have in your starting 11 or your Manchester best team, because I know there's going to be plenty of people who argue Sergio. Now the final piece of the jigsaw, right wing, we've got Juan Mata against Raheem Sterling. Now Mata, as we all know, is not a right winger, but under Van Gaal he played there quite a lot and arguably his best performances came there. And under Mourinho he started there as well, sort of shifting inside to a number 10 on occasions. Henrik Mkhitaryan hasn't really played for Man United so far, otherwise he would probably be in this conversation. He definitely would. But Juan Mata has been influential so far for Man United, you can't argue about that. But he's not a natural right winger. And on the other hand, we've got Raheem Sterling. In 3 games, he has got 2 goals and 1 assist. And Sterling seems to, like Nolito on the left, Sterling seems to suit Guardiola on the right-hand side. He seems to be playing a more natural game for him. His pace is one of his biggest assets. I think you could argue he's better in a number 10 role, but he can't play in that role at the moment because you've got De Bruyne, you've got Silva. Sterling has to be suited to the wing. And he is playing well there. And I think City are looking dangerous on the wings because, as you say, you've got Nolito, you've got Sterling. Hopefully with Aguero out, it makes them a little bit less dangerous. But looking at Sterling individually against Juan Mata, I think there's only one choice you can actually have as a right winger because there's only one right winger we're talking about, and that's Sterling. So he would be my choice. But let me know who you would choose in that vote there. And that is it for Manchester's best attack. And make sure you check out the best defence video, the best midfield video, and the best overall squad video.